How in the fuck is it already February? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the SlasherTalk Podcast. This podcast episode might be I'm in shambles, okay? I leave for Europe tomorrow. I have to do laundry. I have to pack. I got a design job randomly, so I sent that this morning. I haven't designed anything in what feels like forever, so that was weird. But I did that. I need to do laundry. I have to pack. I have to get a haircut, because I am going out into the world, and I have to fake that I am an actual person and human being, and I'm a part of society. So I just have a lot to do. And I did not want to leave you guys hanging without a podcast episode for this Friday. So it is Monday morning, 8 a.m. I'm posting the short version of what we were talking about today in the future because it's Friday. Today on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, but I wanted to dive into each February horror movie release just a little bit further. Damn, I came shooting out of a cannon. It is 8 a.m. I'm on my second cup of coffee for those watching YouTube. Cheers. Anyway, I just spilt that all over my desk. Again, I'm keeping this in. I don't give a fuck. I got it. Anyway, this is for people that aren't morning people. I'm not a night person. So this is me at 8 a.m. I'm fucking wired. I'm getting shit done. So yeah, we covered my chaotic morning. I'm going to Europe with my friends. I cannot wait. I did not want to leave you guys hanging with an episode this Friday. And so this might be a little shorter, but I'm going to rattle through the February horror movie releases. There's almost 30 movies. I think there's like 27, 28. And I'm sure this is not the entire list. I'm sure there's going to be random ones that come out that I missed or I didn't see or just that aren't announced yet or whatever. But as of right now, there's damn near 30 horror movie releases. There's 28 days. There's more horror. There's about a horror movie release per day in February. Crazy. So let's rock and roll. February 3rd, our first movie comes out called The Morrigan. And The Morrigan is directed by Colm Eastwood. I don't know. I don't think he's related to Clint Eastwood. I could check, but my glasses. I'm in shambles this morning. I'm so sorry. Anybody who's following this podcast, this is gonna be the episode where they're like, I'm out. I'm off this boat. Have fun, dude. See you later. The Morrigan. February 3rd, directed by Colm Eastwood, follows an archaeologist who travels to Ireland to uncover a long-dead tomb. A threat is released, and she will have to fight to keep her teenage daughter from falling under the control of the Morrigan, a vengeful pagan war goddess. I'm not going to lie to you. The movie poster for it, not a fan. It looks pretty cheap. But I'm on IMDb and like the actual footage from the trailer and stuff looks pretty solid. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty solid independent horror film. So I won't be able to watch a good bit of these until after I'm back from Europe. I am going to have so much to watch when I'm back from Europe, but it is what it is. So February 3rd on video on demand and Screambox, The Morrigan comes out. And that's how we're kicking off the month of February. February 6th is absolutely stacked. It's stacked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 movies in one fucking day. Anybody? Chunky Larry's doing the watching every horror movie release this year. I know Ray from Scare Pairs doing it as well. Y'all are in for one on February 6th, my guys. So, first one is a movie called The Arborist, and it comes out from Dark Sky Films. This is one that I've actually already seen, so I'm ahead of the game. It is a grief-stricken arborist and her son awaken a haunting when they begin felling trees at the estate of a mysterious recluse. I talked about this last episode because I had already watched this in January. I still can't talk about it a whole hell of a lot. But anybody who's into like folk horror for sure should definitely check this out. There's some cool things here. I definitely think this is worth a watch. That will come out video on demand. February 6th as well. Well, like I said, there's 6. So the next one is a film called Teacher's Pet. And looks like this was kind of this must have hit festivals or whatever in 2025 because it says 2025, but definitely releasing February 6th. The video on demand. This looks more like a psychological thriller from what I'm seeing, but it's on this list. A brilliant high school senior, days away from escaping to Yale, must outwit her malevolent new English teacher when he becomes obsessed with her. As he reveals his sinister past, Clara fights a treacherous battle of wits for survival. Hell yeah. The tagline on the movie poster is, "This semester's final exam is survival." I love that. I'm always down for a psychological thriller. This might not be like overly horror, but I'm down for this. The teacher looks really familiar. Luke Barnett. Known for Dark Winds, For All Mankind, Your Lucky Day. Yeah, dude, he looks super familiar. I don't know what I've seen him in that I would have watched, but yeah. So video on demand, Teacher's Pet, February 6th. Also, video on demand on February 6th is Darren Lynn Bousman's new film. The guy who did, the director that did Saw 2, 3, and 4, and Spiral. His new film was Lauren Levera. And Jimon Hansu. This looks pretty cool. I cannot wait to see this. It follows 2 millennials who flip New York apartments they don't own to new buyers who don't know they are being scammed. So I think Lauren Levera's character is a con artist who's scamming people. That's pretty cool. Not cool, but yeah. The con works brilliantly until they run into an apartment owner with a dark secret who flips the game on them. This, from the trailer, it gives me, you can tell whoever, Darren Lynn Bousman, like, if you didn't know that Darren Lynn Bousman was directing this, it definitely gives you Saw vibes. And this looks, Lauren Levera has had a string of horror films that, in my opinion, haven't been, like, great. I personally liked The Well. I think I liked The Well a little bit more than other people. But The Well wasn't, like, fantastic, but I thought it was, I mean, I'd watch it a second time. So, this, I can't wait to see her in another horror role outside of Terrifier this looks to be a little bit of a different kind of role for her. I can't wait. I've heard pretty good things. And I mean, I love Saw, so video on demand. Twisted, February 6th. And then, oh no, guys. I'm not gonna be able to watch The Strangers Chapter 3. Oh no! I'm so sad and depressed. I don't get to watch the finale to this dog shit fucking trilogy. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yay. The Strangers Chapter 3 in theaters. Can IMDb fucking load? Brother, I got shit to do. So basically, I mean, if you've seen Strangers Chapter 1 and 2, this is the finale. This is the conclusion. This is, for the words that they said in Chapter 2 before we saw it in Fantastic Fest, the producer and Madeline Pesh and the director was like, this is the story. This is what we've been building to. Whatever. Fucking, you know it sucks. Whatever. God. Lionsgate hates me. Lionsgate hates me for sure. In the series' most brutal chapter, Maya collides with the masked killers and finds the only way out of the nightmare is in. Listen, I haven't seen a trailer for this, because I just don't care. I'm going to watch it for sure, because I have to finish out the trilogy, but holy fuck, I could care less. I just don't care. I haven't seen a trailer. I saw a poster that I think really confirms my personal, like, where this is going to go. And I picked up on this in Strangers Chapter 1. And it coincides with an accidental leak that I read after Chapter 1 came out. But I feel like it was pretty obvious where it was going to go. We'll see. There's a poster that came out with Richard Brake is massive on this poster. There is going to be a fourth stranger that is like pulling the strings for this whole thing. I guarantee it. There's going to be a new stranger, a new mask, and that motherfucker is going to be Richard Brake. I'm calling it now. Well, I called it way back in Chapter 1, but so that's what I think is going to be happening here. You know, the town's in on it, all that, and Richard Brake is going to be the one that's pulling the strings. So, we'll see how this ends up. Can you tell I'm excited? Anyway, Whistle comes out as well. I've already seen this. Be nice, Justin. Saw this at Fantastic Fest. It was the closing night film. I wasn't a fan. That's all I'm going to say. A misfit group of unwitting high school students stumble upon a cursed object, an ancient Aztec death whistle. They discover that blowing the whistle and the terrifying sound it emits will summon their future deaths to hunt them down. It gives me Final Destination vibes because, like, each person basically, has death hunting them down. Each person has their little segment in the movie. I never got fully locked into this movie at Fantastic Fest. It lost me very early on, and it just never drugged me back in. But everybody has different tastes, different opinions. If I hadn't already seen it at Fantastic Fest, I would have 100% go to the theater and watch this because I was very excited for this film. I've just already seen it, so I don't know that I'm gonna go watch it again. Maybe I will to see if they changed anything, but from my experience with seeing these films early at at the festivals, not really a whole hell of a lot changes. So we'll see. I'm sure a lot of people will end up liking Whistle, but it wasn't for me. A little bit of coffee, like you do. Sorry, I'm stimming. I have vocal stems now from watching the Burnt Peanut. If you watch the Burnt Peanut, I have to stop. It's a problem. Okay. Um, so next one, the last one for February 6th is Dracula. And this one is being, before it's even come out, is being drugged through the mud hard. We'll get into that. But Dracula stars Caleb Landry Jones, Christoph Waltz. I love Christoph Waltz. I think he's a fantastic actor. But the original title for this was Dracula, A Love Tale, and now it's just Dracula. When a 15th century prince denounces God after the loss of his wife, he inherits an eternal curse. He becomes Dracula. Condemned to wander the centuries, he defies fate and death, guided by a single hope to be reunited with his lost love. Okay. I've seen the trailer for this before a couple of movies. The last one I just saw it on was Iron Lung. And which I didn't touch on that in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, I ended up seeing Send Help and Iron Lung, and I did sneak in the movie Teeth. But Send Help was technically on February 1st, so that has to count for February. But yeah, I liked Iron Lung, parts of Iron Lung, but I thought it was incredibly boring. But like, congratulations to Markiplier for his success there, because it's absolutely crushing at the box office. So, but anyway, I've seen the trailer for Dracula, and I don't like the vibes. I genuinely don't like the vibe of the movie. This is one that I would probably watch when it comes to streaming for free. Just to have, like, just to say I watched it, and so I can have, like, a thought-out opinion of the film, but it does not interest me in the slightest, if I'm being totally honest. It is directed by Luc Besson, and Luc Besson, he directed The Fifth Element and Leon the Professional. He had a lot of allegations come out about him back in starting in 2018. It says that he was cleared of all rape charges in 2023. But like, so many allegations came out about him and stuff. So it's already like a lot of people are just really dragging the film and like boycotting the film because of who the director is. So just know that going in. I don't know all the details there. I haven't researched. I just pulled it up real quick to kind of like do a little bit of quick like bullet points. But yeah, so that's happening. That kind of like even further, just like I just don't know that I care to go watch it. So yeah. February 11th, next movie. February 11th is the movie that I'm going to Europe for. Gale Yellow Brick Road. I'm going to the premiere. That is Wednesday. Guys, literally, Gigi and I fly out tomorrow night. We leave Nashville at 6 p.m. We are landing in Europe at like 8 a.m. And then we're getting off the plane. We're going to go meet Sydney and Brian and Eli and Destiny. Have a day. And then that same day is the premiere. I'm going to be in shambles. Jet lag, all that. Why we decided to fly in the morning of the fucking premiere, beyond me. But fuck it, we ride. It is what it is. I'm incredibly excited for this because it's one of those. This was already a short that was released a couple years ago, from my understanding, but this is the full. I keep getting comments going, dude, this has been out. It's like 20 minutes long. I'm not going to the theater for it. Motherfucker, it is an hour and 45-minute movie. What? Google's free. Anyway, Gale, Yellow Brick Road. Dorothy, now an elderly woman haunted by her past, tries to warn her granddaughter, Emily, before dark forces pull her into Oz, a once familiar land, now twisted by horrors. Look, I'm all in. I think, if I'm being 100% dead honest, this has potential to not be great. Like, I love seeing the character designs of like the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and stuff. Like, I think they have incredible designs. I love the concept here. I think the trailer was really well put together. It has potential to be, in my opinion, fantastic, but this is the kind of film that like easily tricks you. Like, there are films like this where like the trailer looks great, everything about it looks great, and then you watch it and you're like, what happened? Like, where was the movie that was like, it has potential to be that, but I genuinely do not think that's going to be the case. Like, this looks really fucking good. But I like this whole childhood, like stuff from your childhood twisted into horror stuff. Like, I've loved that my entire life. So this is just so up my alley, but we will see. When you're listening to this on Friday, I had already seen this movie. So did I like it? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to post about it before or not, but we'll see. Next film, February 13th. Okay, so looking at this, February 13th is another just absolutely stacked day. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films on the 13th. Jesus Christ. Okay. First movie, February 13th, is a film called Honey Bunch that's coming out on Shudder. I can't believe I haven't seen this yet. I haven't seen it come through my email for a screener or nothing, which is kind of weird. But Honey Bunch is a Shudder original, so it's going to be coming out on Shudder. On the 13th, when Diana wakes up from a coma with memory loss, she and her husband seek experimental treatments at a remote facility. As the procedures intensify, their marriage is put to the test, and Diana begins to question her husband's true motives. The poster for this movie is so cool. It's very unique. I really like the poster. Again, I haven't seen a full trailer. But what's showing me on IMDb with like what I'm seeing without the sound on, it looks cool. I'm excited. I've heard a couple of a couple people have seen it. It says comedy, fantasy, horror, sci-fi, thriller, so it looks like there's going to be a lot of genres mixed in one. I'm very excited and intrigued about this film. Another film coming to video on demand is a film called Sweetness, which I've already seen. I saw it as a part of South by Southwest last year, so damn near a year ago. That's crazy. The best way I can describe this is it's essentially Misery, but for like Gen Z. I had a great time with this film. It's definitely worth a watch. It is directed by Emma Higgins. It's when a chance encounter with her rock star crush leads 16-year-old Riley to discover he's a dysfunctional drug addict. She takes it upon herself to help him, ultimately forcing her teenage fantasies into reality. So I don't need to go into it a whole hell of a lot. I already said Misery, but for Gen Z. So if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen Misery, I beg you, change that. So that kind of gives you an idea of what it is. I had a good time with this film. Another film is Ted Bundy. This one's hard to look up because it's always like Ted Bundy movie. No, Ted Bundy. This one is also coming out to video on demand. Following an exhaustive search, documentary filmmaker Sasha locates Catherine, who compellingly claims to an undiscovered victim of Ted Bundy. When Sasha and her crew venture out to the old woman's remote farmhouse to capture her exclusive story, horrific secrets are uncovered that were best left buried. After her crew is brutally killed and no evidence is left to prove her claims to law enforcement, Sasha and a rogue cop set to stop the unpredictable terror and slaughter that has been unleashed. Cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. The poster, I don't know about that. But yeah, video on demand, Ted Bundy. Lock and load. Demon Squad Tooth and Claw. So I guess this is a sequel to a film called Demon Squad. Never seen it. But I'll tell you right now, based off the poster, again, if this is me being mean, I'm so sorry, but I'm a graphic designer. I do movie posters and stuff, and so it's just something about me. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. I know that. But I'm the person that, like, designs the book cover. And just posters like this, I would look at this and just skip it. I'm like, no, I'm good. So this is probably one that I'm personally not going to watch because I haven't even seen the first one. But hey, if you've seen the first one, if you're a big Demon Squad fan, the sequel comes out February 13th. When a string of brutal killings are linked to a werewolf, paranormal investigator Nick Moon goes on the hunt. Battling supernatural forces, he uncovers a dark conspiracy that must be stopped before the monster strikes again. There you go. Next film on February 13th. This one's hitting theaters. Stars Joe Keery, called Cold Storage. I'm super excited for this one. This got Georgina Campbell, Joe Keery, Liam Neeson. Stacked. Absolutely fucking stacked. When a highly dangerous fungus escapes from a secret laboratory, a former bioterrorism agent is called back into action. Alongside two employees, he must confront an invisible and out-of-control threat. This just looks like a fucking great time. So I'm not usually one for, like, horror comedies. They're very hit and miss for me, and if you've listened to my content at all, you know that. But this one looks like it's going to be a great time. So, cannot wait for that. Moving right along, there is another film. There's two more films for February 13th. I found this film called Pacifico. And this is the one, yeah, this is Germany. This is coming out in Germany. So I included it on this list because it was on a list of upcoming horror movies in February that I found. So I don't know if this is actually going to release in the US on February 13th or just Germany. I don't know. So there's an asterisk on that. But the poster looks insane. Like, the poster looks really fucking cool. It's like this, like, it looks very horror sci-fi. A group of young travelers are stranded on an island in the Pacific where they struggle to escape an evil presence that has been kept hidden from mankind for centuries. Yes, sir. All in. So, again, I don't know if that's coming out in the US, but it's definitely coming out in Germany. So, that's one of the things I almost didn't put it on this list, but I more so put it on the list so I can go back and look at it. But yeah. Last one for February 13th is The Mortuary Assistant. I'm super excited for this. It's based off the video game, which I haven't played, but Gigi has, and she says it's fucking terrifying. Everything that I've read about this game is that it's a terrifying video game. So the potential for this movie to be absolutely batshit insane is there. Does Dredd pull it off? I don't know. We'll see. It follows Rebecca Owens, a mortuary science graduate who takes a night job at Riverfields Mortuary. What begins as a routine job turns sinister as she faces terrifying supernatural forces. From my understanding, the end of this game has different endings. So I'm genuinely curious if they're going to give... It'd be cool if they did, like... Because this is coming out into... It hits Shudder, but the poster says only in theaters. So I don't know if they're doing like a dual release or theaters only on February 13th, and then eventually it's going to Shudder. But definitely, if you have a chance to go check this out in theaters, I'm wondering, it'd be super cool if like different groups of theaters got different endings. That'd be super sick. And then maybe like some way, somehow they could like make different things on Shudder. I don't know, but the whole different endings thing has me intrigued. So this is one of my most anticipated for the month, hands down. I cannot wait to see this. This next film, I hadn't heard of it whatsoever. It's a Korean film called Ghost Train. I looked into it a little bit more this morning to post on Facebook because I loved the poster. I watched the trailer for it. Looks so cool. I can't wait. It says Ghost Train is a horror movie in which Dai Yunug, I fucked her name up. I'm so sorry. She's a YouTuber with the lowest number of views. Meets a station master of a mysterious subway station to find the source of a true horror story and encounters several strange stories. That's a weird synopsis. That's not the one I found earlier. What did I read earlier? Because that sounded not great. Whatever. Anyway, it was on Wikipedia. A horror YouTuber hungry for attention delves into the eerie mysteries of Wanlim Station, a place plagued by a string of unexplained disappearances. There we go. That's the one. Hell yeah, brother. All in. It looks really cool, and Korean films typically hit pretty fucking hard. So I'm excited for that. Another film on that one. So that one comes out February 17th, video on demand. There's one more film on February 17th. It's called Blood Barn, which is hitting Scream Box. This one gives me 80s slasher vibes. 100%. It's set during the summer of 1985. We follow Josie, a camp counselor who reunites her closest friends for one last weekend together at her family's secluded barn before they head off to college. What begins as a nostalgic getaway quickly feels off when the group realizes the property has been neglected for years, carrying with it a history Josie would rather forget. And then I guess it goes into like strange and violent events erupt. Sweet. 80s slasher vibes. All in. We'll watch it. I actually have Screambox, so this is one I'm going to go check out. This next film is one of my most anticipated films of the year. If you have seen my content, which if you're listening to this, not like anybody random came across the Slasher Talk podcast on Spotify or Apple and said, I love this guy. You probably follow me on TikTok or whatever, right? I posted a video saying that this movie had potential to be one of the best horror films of the year. I stand by that. It has the potential. Psycho Killer comes out February 20th. This to me feels like it is the movie that most people wanted Longlegs to be. A highway patrol officer sets out to find the man responsible for the brutal murder of her husband. Her quest leads her to a sadistic serial killer whose mental depravity and sinister agenda is more twisted than anyone could have ever imagined. The trailer looks like we are going to actually see this killer do what he does best. It gives me it's the it is early in the morning. Is it the writer of Seven? I'm pretty sure it's the writer of Seven. And it definitely yes. The writer of Seven, and it gives you that vibe for sure. So this has massive potential. I cannot wait. February 20th in the theaters. Looking at February 20th, there are a lot of movies that release this date too. Holy shit. Diabolic comes out February 20th. I've already seen this one as well. I can talk about this one. I got an email the other day saying I can kind of like put my thoughts out now. So Diabolic comes out video on demand February 20th. A woman's hope for a miracle cure turns into a nightmare when she confronts the vengeful spirit of a cursed witch, determined to claim her as a vessel for her evil power. This one is a religious horror film, like a folk witchy religious horror. It's like is it Mormons? I don't want to get this wrong. Let me look. One moment. Yes. No. She returned. So she was a woman that was in the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the FLDS, which I'm not a fan of any religion. I'm sorry if that upsets you. I'm not like a religious person. I just not. But you start getting into like polygamy and all that kind of stuff. Like I don't know. It's just not my vibe. It feels very cultish, right? Anyway, Diabolic. It is a beautifully shot film. It really is. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. This is another one of those films, like I was talking about earlier with Gale, where through the synopsis and the trailer, I was like, this has potential, but it could very easily just be one of those films where like they put together a great trailer and the movie sucks. I was locked into this movie pretty much from the get-go. I will say there are a couple of moments, unfortunately for me, in the back end, like going into the third act and in the third act, where there's some things where I was kind of like, it was a little quick, it was a little corny. But the cinematography, it's the same guy that did, it's the same guy that shot Monolith. I do not remember his name. I should pull that up. Michael of Tessary. The cinematography in Diabolic was so good. It really just brought me in. It was a beautiful film. I thought the main Elizabeth Cullen, who plays can I go on a tangent here? Letterboxd on the desktop, I don't like it. Like, on my phone, I can't use my phone because I'm talking to you on my phone right now. Like, it shows, like, who they played, all this kind of stuff. It doesn't show me what their names are. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Diabolic, definitely worth a watch, in my opinion. It's a flawed film, but it's beautiful, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. I gave it like a 3.5. So definitely, I think, in my opinion, if you love like religious, witchy horror, it's worth your time. Then This Is Not a Test, which is based off of a book that I haven't read. I didn't know that. It's a new zombie film. Director Adam McDonald. This one's got Olivia Holt in it. It follows Sloan and 4 other students who take shelter in their high school during a zombie outbreak. It's giving Breakfast Club and 28 Days Later. That's the vibe, for sure. I'm personally very excited to see this. It hits theaters February 20th. Now, in limited theaters, there's a film that I saw. Was it Fantastic Fest? Or it might have been South by Southwest. It might have been a screener that I saw for South by Southwest. It's a sci-fi horror film called Redux. And I'm pretty sure it's Redux because I thought, ooh, it's actually pronounced redo. The X is silent. And then I was told, no, you fucking idiot. It's actually Redux. So I don't know. I'm either dumb or very smart, and I'm being gaslit. I don't know. Irene Kelly travels through parallel universes, repeatedly killing her daughter's murderer. As she becomes consumed by vengeance, her humanity hangs in the balance. This film, I read the synopsis and I said, I need this right now. I think the idea of this film was incredible. I loved this concept. And although I didn't hate the film, I don't think it lived up to what I saw in my head when reading the synopsis. It's definitely, in my opinion, leans a hell of a lot more sci-fi than it does horror. So just know that going in. I'm pretty sure I'd have to go look, but Letterboxd on desktop is terrible and I don't like it. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 3 out of 5. If you love sci-fi with a mix with a little bit mix of horror, I think it's worth a one-time watch. That's Redux or Redo, whichever one's right. I don't know. The Dreadful comes out in video on demand. This cast is insane. I didn't know. Looking at the poster, I almost didn't put this on because I'm like, how is this a horror film? But it's right here. Google The Dreadful 2026 horror, an hour and 34 minutes long. We'll see. Debatable. If you want my honest opinion, just judging on what I'm looking at, debatable. But we'll see. I haven't seen a trailer, nothing. The Dreadful follows Anne and her mother-in-law, Morwen? I fucked that up. God, I'm stupid. Who live a solitary, harsh life on the outskirts of society. But when a man from their past returns, he will set off a sequence of events that become a turning point for Anne. This cast, low-key insane. Sophie Turner, Kit Harington, and Marcia Gay Harden. I'll tell you what, anytime I see Marcia's face, fuck you, Mrs. Carmody. I hate you. She played that role so well, I cannot look at her face and not think, I fucking despise you. Not you as a person or an actor, but I can't lie. Anytime I see her face, I'm like, oh, I hate you. That was a little weird. Anyway, The Dreadful 2026. We'll see if it's an actual horror film. I don't know. If it is, sweet. Doesn't necessarily look like one to me, but it's on this list. It's on so many horror movie lists. So we'll see. Few more movies, then we'll wrap this up. I'll let you go because you're probably tired of hearing. Well, no, if you're listening to my podcast, you probably like to hear me yap, but whatever. The Red Book Ritual, Gates of Hell, February 24th, video on demand. From what I've read, this is a sequel to a movie called The Red Book Ritual. Haven't seen it. But I'll tell you what, The Red Book Ritual, Gates of Hell, it's an hour and 18 minutes long. Hell yeah. Just get in and get out. Not all horror movies need to be 2 hours long. I'm going to repeat that. All horror movies do not need to be 2 hours long. A grieving man joins others at a desolate house to perform an occult ritual, hoping to reach his dead girlfriend. She's dead. Oh. When their supernatural ceremony goes wrong, the group faces terrifying consequences. Not gonna lie, the poster low-key looks AI, which sucks. I'm not gonna lie, that face looks AI. Tisk, tisk, tisk. We'll see. I'll tell you what doesn't look AI. The next film, Minnie's Midnight Massacre, February 24th, video on demand. Listen. I said this earlier, I love this whole childhood character turned into horror genre. Twisted childhood, whatever it is. I know the Pooniverse changed their thing into like the Twisted Childhood universe. Like that's not what everything is called, because not every one of these, that's another thing. Not every one of these things is a part of the Pooniverse. They have their own little thing going on. Popeye's not involved. Like, not everything is by the Pooniverse guys. They have their own little thing happening. This is not a part of that. Minnie's Midnight Massacre is Minnie Mouse as a killer who's targeting those who bullied her as a teenager. That's literally the synopsis. Minnie as a killer targeting those who bullied her as a teenager. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Listen, I'm going to watch it. But just off the photos alone, am I really going to spend $8? This is probably going to be an $8 to $9 rental. I swear it has to be. Am I going to do? Yes, I will. And we can talk about it. I like a lot of these films for what they are. They're not. There's a lot of these types of movies that are dog shit. Just to say it bluntly, they're not good. There's a few that I think, for what they are fun watches. This, in my opinion, does not look like one of them. Prove me wrong, Minnie's Midnight Massacre, because I'm going to watch it. February 24th, video on demand. Mark your calendars. Crazy Old Lady is February. Okay, to wrap up February, we have 3 films on February 27th. First one, Crazy Old Lady. This one's coming out on Shudder. I wanted to see this at Fantastic Fest last year, but I didn't get a chance because, again, scheduling. You would think that no, actually saying that, no, you're not. Like, part of there are so many movies at Fantastic Fest and South by Southwest and things that it's so hard to watch every single one that you want to watch, because like scheduling is insane. There's sometimes that you literally can't. I'm pretty sure this was another one of those things where, like, crazy old lady was every day was, like, scheduled up against another movie that I wanted to see just a little bit more, or I just happened to get tickets or whatever. So I had a chance to see this one. I did not, but I'm excited to watch it. It looks like this is a Spanish film. A man is asked by his ex-girlfriend to care temporarily for her senile mother, Alicia, but Alicia won't let him leave, turning a simple task into a nightmare he must escape. I'm guessing she's a crazy old lady, per the title. Which is funny because I just had a conversation with my best friend, roommate Sean. And he's been writing different, like, TV show ideas and movie ideas and, like, ideas for, like, shorts and things, and he always titles things. I'm like, "Don't spoil the movie in your title. Name it something else." And he's like, "Oh, okay." Uh, um, but this one might not be a spoiler because, she's just a crazy old lady, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Shudder, February 27th. The big one on February 27th is Scream 7. We're going to take a moment and talk about this because maybe you guys can comment while I'm away in Europe, and we can talk about this throughout the month because we have time. I don't have to give you the synopsis of Scream 7, but because it's the seventh Scream, we know Sidney Prescott's back, Ghostface is after her, whatever. But when a new Ghostface killer emerges in the quiet town where Sidney Prescott has built a new life, her darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. Her daughter, named Tatum, by the way. I do like that. Determined to protect her family, Sydney must face the horrors of her past to put an end to the bloodshed once and for all. You take that last. Well, I'm a big Scream fan. Okay, I love the original Scream. It will forever hold a place in my heart. I have defended the Scream franchise for years of it being like. And I genuinely do still think that it is the most consistent horror franchise out there. Even though Scream 3 is highly just hated on, I don't think Scream 3 is like a terrible film. I'll still watch it. So I think in general, the movies are. There's not one in the franchise to me that is like terrible, right? A little bit of coffee for this conversation. But I walked out of Scream 6 for the first time after watching a Scream movie, and I just could not shake the feeling after Scream 6 of just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, it hit the reveal in Scream 6, and I was like, well, yeah, like, that's what we did. We're doing this again. And I completely understand that, like, the new trilogy is supposed to mirror the original trilogy because it's a meta thing. And I guess, spoiler, if you haven't seen Scream 6, because I got yelled at for quote unquote spoiling Abigail the other day because I said Abigail was a vampire. Well, thanks for spoiling the movie. Fucking excuse me. That's another. I have pre-recorded content coming out about that rant, so look out for that. But spoiler for Scream 6, like, it was the family. It was Richie's family, which mirrors Scream 2, with it being Billy's family. And then after what they did to Neve Campbell in Scream 6, not offering her the amount of money that she asked for, and they basically said, well, then fuck you. We don't need you. We have this new cast, whatever. And then after the whole Melissa Barrera genocide comments, and they got rid of her, and Jenna Ortega left, and then the original director, the guy who did fucking Happy Death Day, Christopher Landon was the original director, and he left because all that shit. Like, they had to do something. So then all of a sudden, like, oh, hey, Nev Campbell, we have the money, come on back. Which, this is kind of like a big thing. Like, Nev, I know that work, like, you have to take work when it's there, especially as a woman in Hollywood. The older that you get, it's harder. I hate that, but we've seen it over and over. That's just how it is. So I understand her taking the work when it's there, and but she just had this opportunity to just go, you know what? Fuck you. They went and brought her back, and Kevin Williamson's back to direct, and this whole, hey, we're bringing back Stu and all this kind of, I've said this in previous videos, but there's no chance in hell that Stu is actually alive. And people say, well, he's going to be the killer. No, he's not. If you think that you are walking into the theater for a peel the ghost face mask off and it's fucking Stu Macher, in my opinion, you're delusional. If I'm proven wrong, then whatever. I will own that shit. But I think you're delusional. In the things of mirroring the original trilogy, bringing it into modern times, Roman used a voice changer in Scream 3 to act like and pretend to be other people talking on the phone. What's very popular and in mainstream pop culture, in media right now? AI. I will tell you right now, I have not read a single leak. I haven't looked into it, nothing. And I've said this a while back. I think Roman coming back, Stu Macher, it is going to be something similar to Scream 3, where the killer is using AI in some way, shape, or form to bring these people back to torment Sydney. That's my opinion. But we'll see. I just don't know, after everything, all the behind the scenes drama and stuff with this movie, it has just killed any excitement that I had for this movie. And it low key just feels weird and wrong to go pay for it, to go see it in theaters. I don't know how, and I need to look. I would love to hear you guys's your opinions on this whole thing, because like, I want to see the movie. I'm gonna watch it straight up. Like, I'm not gonna not watch the movie. I have a Regal card where I pay 55 cents for a ticket because I pay the $25 a month or whatever. I don't know how that works with like giving Spyglass money and shit, because like I think like what they did to Melissa Barrera was fucking wrong, straight up. But I also, Nev Campbell and all these people like were supporting her. Then they went in and they did the film anyway. Nev's back and Matthew's back. All it just like is just so incredibly disappointing to see some of these people that I think were in support of Melissa Barrera, but then they took the check and like they're just in the movie. So it's incredibly weird. I don't know if I want to go pay to see it in the theater, but it feels like I have to because I'm a horror content channel. And this is going to be the biggest thing to talk about in the end of the month. So I'm still like, I don't know. It's just a weird thing of like where where do you draw the line of like, this is your job, but then like your morals and like personal opinion about things, like, yeah, it's weird. But I genuinely hope Scream 7 is good. And I think based on history, like, I think it will be a pretty decent film, but I don't know. I think that I think they're doing a lot of things that's just like fan service and like really just trying to get asses in seats after the whole Melissa Barrera thing. It just feels weird. So I don't know. To wrap this up, film called No Seams, video on demand, February 27th. This is directed by Raven Carter. It says 20, it's an hour and 20 minutes long, 20 to 25. Okay, I read that wrong. Yeah. February 27th, 2026. What begins as a spring break getaway spirals into a nightmare when something ancient and vengeful awakens beneath the surface in a past that refuses to stay dead. The poster for this is this woman with her mouth wide open, light coming out, and all these no-seeing bugs are flying out of her mouth. That's disgusting. I'm all in. Arguably, the biggest movie of the month to come out is Scream 7. That's the big one. But if I were to pick, I'm very, very interested in Twisted, Gale Yellow Brick Road. I want to see Cold Storage, The Mortuary Assistant, Ghost Train, Psycho Killer, This Is Not a Test. And then I'm interested in how Scream 7 goes. Those are my major picks for the month. That's a lot of movies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27. So damn near a horror movie for every day of the month. And I guarantee you there's more horror movies that make their way that I couldn't find. So there is more than likely more than one horror movie to come out for every day of February. That's a great month to be a horror movie fan. Anyway, guys, I hope I'm speaking to you from the past, but I hope that you guys had a great week and that you're enjoying your Friday. It is still currently snowy and icy in Nashville. I hate it with a passion. Nashville is in shambles. Still dealing with like not our house, but a lot of people are still dealing with like power outages and no heat, and it's just like, fuck, man. It sucks. I swear if this stuff is still here when I'm back from Europe, it might be my 13th reason. That's a joke. That's a joke. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed your week. I hope you enjoy your Friday and your weekend. I'll be back on the 9th. I'm going to be exhausted and wrecked, but I will try my absolute best to get a podcast episode out for that Friday as well. If I can do this one, I can do that one. I've got it. I don't want to let you guys down. I'm in this podcast mode. I love these conversations. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great week while I'm gone. Definitely go check out The Arborist or Twisted or Whistle. Maybe skip Dracula and maybe skip The Strangers Chapter 3. I don't know. Do what you want. Live your best life. I'm super excited to see how Strangers Chapter 3 ends up. There's no way it's good. I'm sorry. Just to get one more punch. There's no way it's good. But that's me going into the movie biased. Anyway, Have a great weekend, guys. I'll talk to you soon. And remember, watch something spooky this week.